conversations about your everyday life. My name is Yamitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So, what better place to be than here with me today? We have Westside Yoga on today, and I am going to sit down. I just had to fix something right fast. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Miss Wood. How you doing? Good morning, Tammy. Good morning. So I got everybody up and going. Let's do this. Good morning. Good morning. And how do you do? I'd like to introduce myself to you. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a great, great day. So let's get this morning started. My name is Yamitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. And subscribe. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you, YouTube, for joining us this morning. Good morning, Miss Lowry. So if you watched yesterday, please go back and watch yesterday's show, y'all. Yesterday's show was really, these shows have been increased. Like we're going deeper into this our I am statements and understanding what is and what is not. Yesterday we talked about self-life. I didn't want to talk about die to self because it was Valentine's Day and y'all probably didn't want to hear anything about dying to self and how that has to happen all the time, constantly. When you say your I am and you're creating that mold and you're going into that space, then you have to die daily to the old thing that no longer serves you. And so as you do that, you've got to pay attention to you got to pay attention to what's going on. You remember that song? So listen. So we talked about dying to self. We talked about I am. We're deep. Now I want to talk about natural. And I really want to talk about it unnaturally. Okay. I want to, I don't even know how I want to start this, but listen, I want to make it simple because it is, sometimes it's so simple. We assume it's got to be complicated. Okay. Good morning, Miss Rivera. Thank you. Good morning, sunshine. Grand rising. So when we look at the natural thing, right? If we are not paying attention to what we are creating, right? If I'm not paying attention to what I'm saying and the mold that I'm creating when I say I am creating a natural environment for myself. Okay. I'm creating a natural environment for myself. And now, as I create that natural environment for myself, as I'm dying to self, it's going to seem unnatural to do what I used to do. The comfort comes in with me understanding this side of everything. Because I understand the struggle and strife, and there's comfort to that, it has now become my natural state. And so when I choose a different state of mind or a different outcome, and I'm guiding my words differently because I remember we're on a conscious path, right? And so as I'm doing that, I'm doing things that I consider not natural for me. Sometimes we can become hypnotized by our problems and become so hypnotized with our problems that they become natural for us to recite them. Insert the person who always complains, who always has a problem, who they can't seem to get a blessing, they can't seem to get a breakthrough. Sometimes we become hypnotized by talking about our problems, especially in an environment that encourages and breeds it. Okay. And so as you change and you begin to do something that's not natural, that's different from you, like working out, it hurts in the beginning because you haven't exercised that body part before. If you're eating differently, the food's going to taste different because you may be used to the fried foods, you may be used to that. And so as you begin to do something different, it's going to seem unnatural until it becomes natural. Here's my quote for the day. What did I do with it? I stuck it somewhere so I wouldn't forget it. Here we go. Some people are so addicted to poverty, insert whatever word, poverty, mindset, negativity, complaining. Some people are so addicted to it, they can't work on anything else that will make them wealthy. Wealthy in health, wealthy in mindset, wealthy in relationships, right? Because they don't work on it long enough to see the fruit of it. So not only am I hypnotized by my struggle and my strife and my pain, right? When I say I want different, right here where my identity crisis lies. Remember we talked about that identity crisis, I think it was Wednesday of last week. Right here where it lies is where I have to decide what is going to be my new natural because I'm doing something different. And if you're a God's girl, if you read the Bible, listen, whatever religion you subscribe to, when you read it and it tells you you have to die to self, right? Which means every day we have the renewing of the mind and of the spirit that I am cannot destroy, right? It can only come to feel. So if I feel, I create the mold, I'm conscious of my pathway, and I'm dying to self every day so that I don't look back and become hypnotized and long for what used to be natural for me. I have to consciously go back and watch yesterday's show, die to self to make sure that I am feeling the mold that I said I wanted. I will attract whatever is true for me in that moment. If I believe that I am going to be broke, I will attract more brokenness. Okay. If I believe I am broken, I will attract more broken pieces of everybody else. And then I'll try to fit them together every day, Miss Lowry, every day. And so and I like to use Bible verses or stories just because it's a easier thing to remember. Think about Lot and his wife. She looked back. She was, in a way, hypnotized by what she used to have, and her being hypnotized and looking back because it was natural for her. It was natural for her to be in that spot, in that place, and live that way. But when you're on a journey to something different, your focus should be in what I'm feeling, not in what I left behind. And so, with her being hypnotized by the thing, it ultimately destroyed her, right? What you attract is what you believe is true. If we're hypnotized by what used to be natural to us and we're trying to change into something else, oh, I'm becoming more aware. You're becoming more aware of what you really should be doing, not you becoming something else. As you die to that self, as you change that up, you got to be conscious of what you're paying attention to, your pathways, your conscious pathway. So what seems not natural to you right now is because you haven't done it. This is where our fear lies. This is where our ego sits. And we talked about ego yesterday. This is where my ego sits. And we were always talking about JoJo, Confessions and Conversations, JoJo style. It will always be where your ego sits. And in that, either I'm going to allow my ego to take a seat so that I can grow and learn, or my fear and my ego is going to take over and I'm going to go back to what's natural and familiar and stay there. If I stay there, insert the difference between I am and I will be statement, identity crisis, everything will continue. So in the circle of me, I got to sneeze. In the circle of me, remember we're going deeper. And the faster I go with this thought process, right? The faster I go with it, the more energy of that it is spinning off to me. The more I'm pulling in. So the more I was living in crazy, the more crazy I was pulling in. The minute I said I am living past crazy, the crazy stopped coming in. not at an alarming rate like it was before. So as we're changing from one natural state to another, chaos can seem like it is going to ensue. And have you ever heard people say, honey, better the devil you know than the one you don't? Natural, unnatural. Something different, something familiar. New mindset, same thing. Freedom, here. Freedom lies in what you speak. Now, if you believe that I am because I am, then I understand the natural of what I said I want to be and the natural of the comfort that says I don't want to be. Insert any Bible verse in here. Y'all know the man at the gate called beautiful is one of my favorites. Natural for him to lay there. Unnatural for him to trust that his ankles would hold him and allow him to stand. It had nothing to do with the people who walked by. It had nothing to do with the man who is sitting at the right hand of fellowship to him. Nothing. It had everything to do that in that moment, as he was having his identity crisis, he had to, y'all know how we say the person that can say this word. Oh, that's too dark. Let's see. You can see Nissan. The person that can say this word, right? That can, I can't show you that either. That has my address on it. But anyway, you can say a word, a Kroger water bottle. You can say this without using your mouth, without saying a word out loud. That person who just spoke in a voice that you just heard in your head, that person has got to believe. And so the man at the gate called beautiful, he understood all the things. He was at the right place, right person. He had all the opportunity in the world. He could tell you everything about his surroundings, but the person inside of him, his I am, didn't believe for himself. So he didn't trust that his ankles could do something unnatural that could become natural. So he sat with the natural thing that he constantly always knew. That is our comfort zone. It becomes our comfort zone because inside of our trauma, we have learned to cope. We have learned to live. We have learned to do all the things. I know how to operate in trauma. I know how, when things are on my head, how to go out and find money. I know how to find food. I know how to find clothing. I know how to find housing. I know how to use all the programs to get what I need. But what happens when I want to separate myself from the struggle and step into the living? It's unnatural to live in the abundance because you haven't lived there before. And so your natural person, the natural JoJo will say, but we've been struggling our whole life. Why would we do something different? That's a good question. My question to you, if you missed my post, I think it was yesterday, who do you want to be when you give up? When you give up, who do you want to be? That's the person that you need to talk to. Who do you want to be when you give up? When you say, you know what, I ain't got it, Joe. I ain't smart enough. I can't figure this out. It ain't for me. Who are you in that moment? And is that the person that is going to serve you and take you to where you need to be? Insert relationships, financial ships, insert it all right there. Whatever I know to be true for me is what's going to happen. But who am I going to be when I give up? Well, JoJo, who said I was giving up? I didn't say you were. I'm saying you have, at this crossroads, a natural and the unnatural. And we assume this is more difficult because we're not used to it. But what happens when this becomes the natural? So the man at the gate called beautiful, he had to believe that voice inside of him trusted him enough, and he understood enough that his ankles could do the job that they needed to do. Some of us are afraid, right? We're shaking in our boots that we can actually do the thing that we said we wanted to do. We can #change the world. We can be our sister's keeper. We can live past crazy. And the thought of that is scary to us. We are afraid and we live in fear. And because we live in fear of that thing, we go back to what is natural, which may be self-doubt, or I don't understand. I don't know why this is going this way. And we stay over here while we look at people over here. And then we say, oh, I wonder how this happens. And then we assume it's wonders and miracles to perform. But when you understand that I am because I am, it's not a miracle and wonder to perform. It is simply I am. Good morning, Miss Washington. Natural, unnatural. So as we are on this pathway and on this gateway to come here to try something different, and you're having this identity crisis and you're feeling some type of way, you have got to trust yourself that the power that you possess is going to get you to where you need to be, and that you are the person to get it done. And this is how I talk to myself. JoJo, y'all know my quote that's on my desk here. Somebody's waiting to hear my voice. They will not move until I move. Period. Number two, if it was not for me, it would not be here with me. So y'all know one of my favorite books up here is The Awakened Woman by Dr. Trent. And she talks about, no, it's The Lion is Rising. The Lion is Rising is in that book. And it talks about you may not want to be the lion, but the lion's roar has fallen upon you. Meaning you may not have wanted to be the change that your family has got to have. But it is on your shoulders, friend. It is ever before you. It is present in your mind, and it is all you think about. You may not have wanted to be the lion, but the lion's roar has fallen upon you. And how do you know it's the lion's roar? It is that thing. It starts out as a whisper, right? It starts out a whisper that says, hey, pay attention to this. This is not right. We need to change some things in our family. We need to change some ways we raise our children. We need to be financially fit. We need to do this. And it's a whisper, and it keeps going. Eventually, the whisper becomes a shout. And in the shout, it means you cannot ignore it. You have to do something about it. Now, as you begin to do something about it, the third thing is you have to live that shout out loud, meaning that thing that you heard whispering that became a shout that you could not ignore, you had to do something about it. As you live it out loud, you are walking it before people every day. Live past crazy specialists, sisters keep it, change the world. Whatever it is, you having to live it out loud. Eventually, your shout will become a roar. Your roar is simply your statement. And honey, your statement doesn't have to be loud, but it has to be your statement. And your statement has to say, here I am, where are you? So if I'm a lion that's roaring and I'm looking for other women who are doing the same, in my statement, I say, here I am, where are you? So that I know where everybody is so that we can connect. I don't have to yell my statement. My statement is, I am the only live past crazy specialist. My roar is, I am. I am because I am. And because I am, I create. And because I am that created, I created a mold. And because I am that created the mold, I feel that mold. And because I am that created that mold, that feels that mold, I'm making a conscious pathway to that thing. And that is my natural state. Y'all with me? If you tell me what questions you got, because I got you, friend. So as we're listening to the lion's roar, because you may not want to be the lion, but the lion's roar has fallen upon you. As you're at that identity crisis between natural and unnatural, and it's only unnatural because you've yet to understand that this is the state that you are to be in. And as you begin to trust your ankles to do what they're supposed to do, know that they're going to hold you sturdy. Now, you may feel a little wobbly in the beginning because this is something you haven't done before. It's a thought you haven't had. It's a mental state you've never been in. You're seeing something you've never seen. So if I'm seeing something I've never seen and my vision is becoming clearer, in the beginning, it's blurry. You got to wipe your eyes. You got to readjust your glasses. You got to give everything time to come into focus. Insert quote. Some people are addicted to poverty because they're not willing to work for the things that will make them wealthy, because they're not willing to work long enough to see the fruit of their labor. So as your vision is becoming clearer, as you're understanding your shout into the roar, as you're living your shout out loud, as you're doing that, you've got to be patient with yourself. It takes a minute for everything to come into focus. But know that you're on this conscious pathway to feel this thing. We've got to be consciously aware that I am comes only to create, never to destroy. The destruction comes from us. The destruction comes from JoJo. If I am broke and I am consciously aware of what I just created and the pathway I'm taking to that, I bring my own destruction to myself. It's that simple. And because it's that simple, we assume it's got to be that complicated. And because it's that simple, we assume if it was simple, everybody would be doing it. But because it's that simple, nobody's doing it. Y'all with me? So if you continuously look at your problem and you become hypnotized by that, because that is your natural state, but you're trying to change to another state that does not seem natural to you, but you are doing your conscious pathway every day to make sure that this mold that you created is being filled in a totally different way than this one, right? You got to trust yourself that the power that you harnessed inside of you will fill that mold. Some of us are afraid of that power. We don't know how to work it. You don't understand the power of your affirmations or your prayers or your belief that this thing is true. If you don't believe me, honey, look back over your life. When I wanted to go to the club and I had no money, I said, I'm going to the club today. Broke college student. I found $5, $6, $7, whatever it was, to get in the club. I didn't drink, so I didn't have to worry about buying alcohol. I just needed money to get in the club. I'd help somebody with their homework for the gas money, so I didn't have to pay for gas. Oh, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get them shoes. I'm gonna get that purse. You use your power every day. It's just that you're not consciously aware of it. I am hungry. I am going to go eat this. Conscious pathway, you go feel it. Because you only create. You don't destroy. The destruction comes in with your conscious pathway. So when I say I'm hungry and I want McDonald's and I pull up at McDonald's and I eat that cheeseburger I ain't got no business eating, that I am statement I just created, I'm bringing a destruction. Until we are consciously aware enough to acknowledge that for ourselves, we will stay in the comfort of our crazy. We will never live past it. We will stay in a natural state of chaos. Because some of us was raised in chaos and our identity is housed inside of chaos. Remember, we gave the explanation of the church or this thing, whatever this thing is that you assume is going to bring you freedom. And you bring all your crazy and your chaos to this thing that you assume that's going to bring you freedom. But if you don't believe that it's going to give you freedom in your thought, your mind, whatever, your chaos will absolutely take it over. And now chaos would reside in the very thing that you thought was going to bring you peace. Insert relationship. Oh, if I marry this man, he going to bring me some peace. And you bring chaos to this man, and it takes it over. Well, I tell you, ain't no good men out there. Your chaos ate it because you had no faith in this thing that it was really true. That's when you have to believe beyond belief. And you have to feel and know without a doubt that this thing is real. That's how you can go to the church and, like I said, be deep fried in holy oil and all the things And your crazy is there as soon as you get up and you take over the peace that you thought you were going to have. It's that simple. If I have to believe first, I don't care what religion, what mindset, what book, every book I have up here and on these two shelves talk about mindset. If you don't believe that it's true, it doesn't matter how much you pray. It doesn't matter who intercedes for you, because you have to believe it. Their belief ain't gonna get you there. It's yours, right, Miss Washington? We have to choose our words carefully. And if we don't, then the destruction that we see is of our own doing. So on this great, most amazing day, on this most day, as you are listening to your lion's roar, whatever that is for you, spend some time being quiet so you can figure that out. Because we talked about this last year. Your purpose in life is, if you don't know what your purpose is, I'm about to give it to you. Once I figure this out, listen, in the circle of me, we figure some things out. The sole purpose for you and for every human is simply to be the best, most authentic version of yourself. Now, as that is your purpose, everything else that you wish to do and accomplish is a byproduct of you living in your I am statement. Your purpose, my purpose, Miss Washington, Tammy, Miss Woodard, whoever's listening, your sole purpose in life, Miss Lowry, is to be the best, most authentic person that you can be to your truest self. Now that I am that, everything that I wish to accomplish and do is an extension of me. I can't go out here and want to do something that is not an extension of me, because then there's no connection and it's not going to live, it shall die. Live to my best, truest, authentic purpose of myself. I understand my I am. And because I understand that I am, now everything that I want to accomplish, it is an extension of JoJo. Sister Rise, Sister Keeper, honey, Live Past Crazy Specialist, the books, the movies, is an extension of who I am, because I understood that part first. So your purpose in life is to be the truest, most authentic version of yourself. Then everything extra will be added. Because if you don't understand that, nothing else can be added. Because the equation doesn't make sense. Okay? If I don't understand me, I can't subtract two things and get a great outcome, because there's nothing to pull from. So on this great, most amazing day, it's going to be a good day. I want you to be peaceful, period, because there's nothing after that. There's absolutely nothing after that, okay? I promise. As you're looking at today, think about what is natural for you and where you're going on this journey and what you hope to achieve and what is it going to take for you. This is an everyday thing. Every day. Every day. I'm consciously aware of the pathway I'm about to take. And I make sure that on my conscious pathway, I'm feeling the I am mold. And sometimes it can hurt to show up in that I am mode, because we have to deal with the trauma that kept us from it. You're welcome, Miss Woodard. It is my pleasure. And so if we don't want to deal with the trauma, if I can't handle what I'm about to heal from, I will stay in this natural state of chaos and crazy. Because some of us was raised in chaos. It became our identity. And because chaos is our identity, we don't know how to live in peace. We don't know how to live in love. because chaos and crisis is all we've ever known. Our body has adapted to it. And so as I'm learning to live in peace and be peaceful, period, I'm going to have that identity crisis because the natural JoJo says we live at a heightened state of awareness at all time. The peaceful JoJo says we don't. I have to make a die to self every day in order to live on this be peaceful side, the natural side. So on this great day, have the most amazing day ever. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. This is where you can get some of the Live Past KZ products. We have bracelets, we have necklaces, we have bags. I do have some more. Let me show you. I have some more sisterized bags for you. So I have 2 sisterized bags, but here's another one. So if you would like one of these, and it says sisterized, and this is just a lightweight canvas bag. I have the heavier duty purple ones. So you can find them. You can find them there as well if you would like a bag. We have bags, we have mugs, we have sweatshirts, we have all the things. So you can check them out over there. So I hope you, and I still have up the free 14-day self-love challenge. If you want to grab that, you can find it under the LPC products as well. It is the self-love challenge since yesterday was Valentine's Day. I'll leave it up for the rest of the week so you can share that with somebody. As soon as you put in your information, it is a free download and you can print it off. And it is affirmations and journal entries to help you if you so need it. If it's not for you, honey, leave it for somebody else. If it is, please take it and use it how you see fit. So have a great day. And I'll see you guys here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.